Dusk. Hollow Manor stood silhouetted against the fading light. A chill wind whispered through the ancient trees, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching out. Within the manor's walls, shadows stretched, mimicking the growing darkness outside. Guests gathered in the grand hall, their faces illuminated by the flickering fireplace. Each held a drink, their eyes darting, observing. Lady Cavendish, draped in jewels, her gaze sharp and calculating. Mr. Blackwood, his face etched with worry, constantly checking his pocket watch. And Miss Ainsworth, a young novelist, her eyes wide with fascination, her notebook clutched tightly. The manor was shrouded in an unsettling silence, broken only by the crackling fire. The host, Lord Beaumont, was conspicuously absent. A palpable tension hung in the air, a discordant note in the stillness. Whispers, like the rustling of dead leaves, followed each movement, each stolen glance. Nightfall. The guests, uneasy, retired to their rooms. Each room, with its heavy velvet curtains and antique furniture, whispered of forgotten tragedies. Sleep came reluctantly, haunted by half-heard sounds and flickering shadows. Morning arrived, cold and unforgiving. A scream pierced the quiet, echoing through the manor. Lord Beaumont's valet, found lifeless in his room. His eyes stared vacantly, his face frozen in a mask of terror. Panic erupted, shattering the facade of civility. Accusations flew like daggers in the grand hall. Lady Cavendish, her voice trembling with barely suppressed rage, pointed a finger at Mr. Blackwood. His financial troubles were no secret. Miss Ainsworth, pale and trembling, scribbled furiously in her notebook, her eyes darting from one guest to another. The local constable, Inspector Davies, arrived, a gruff man with a weary face. He surveyed the scene, his eyes, sharp and observant, missed nothing. He questioned the guests, his voice low, his gaze unwavering. Each guest offered alibis, their voices laced with a mixture of fear and thinly veiled disdain. Days turned into nights. The investigation dragged on, each revelation only deepening the mystery. The manor, once a place of stately elegance, became a prison of suspicion and fear. The guests, trapped in a web of their own making, watched each other with wary eyes. The maid, Elsie, moved silently through the manor. Her eyes, though downcast, missed nothing. She saw the fear in Lady Cavendish's eyes, the desperation in Mr. Blackwood's demeanour. She had overheard their whispered conversations, fragments of confessions in the dead of night. She knew of the secret passage hidden behind a tapestry in the library, a passage that led to the deceased valet's room. Elsie, armed with her observations and the knowledge of the secret passage, presented her findings to Inspector Davies. Her quiet voice, usually overlooked, held a newfound confidence. The pieces of the puzzle fell into place, the killer revealed, their motive, a tangled web of greed and revenge. The manor, finally free of its dark secret, stood bathed in the pale light of dawn. Justice had been served, but the echoes of tragedy lingered, a stark reminder of the secrets hidden beneath the surface of civility.